Hello and welcome to Xero Uncut. We are back in the new year. First of all, I want to put this one up on the screen. Happy New Year 2023 to everybody here. How are you, Bobby?
What is up, everybody? Happy New Year.
Did you have a good
We
Christmas
got
and
a
New Year?
green screen. Yeah, man. How about you?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
Mm.
I just do want to say, as we're coming on into the first show, from the Zero News Award Best Report of the Year. That's what I want to say. I just needed to remind people of that one. So yeah, that was voted for
I
by
may, I may look a little different
panel.
from. I may look a little different than last time. I'm not wearing a Christmas sweater or a Christmas hat. I have a
Yeah,
green screen behind me for my videos. I got a microphone, so if I sound better, there's a reason for that. A lot of good things coming in 2023. I still gotta get
yeah.
used to saying that.
I'm gonna say as well now, and you don't know anything about this, but next week I'm rebranding Zero News, so we're gonna have brand new logos and everything, new logos, graphics, a lot basically.
I
So
better be on that logo.
for the show, yeah. Well, there's going to be new graphics for the show and everything, and there's a few extra bits and pieces coming. I would have got it done for this week, but I haven't had the chance to, so it'll be next week. So next week we'll be rebranding basically a little bit.
Always give the fans something to look forward to.
Yeah, it'll be
Yeah.
released probably just before Uncut next week. I'm going to try and release it. So just before we put the show out, I'll release all the.
Okay.
Well, actually, no, I'll do the release on the show. I'm thinking the reveal of the new logo and everything like that, and the reveal of everything like that. We'll do that on the new show. I'm thinking next week that could be the exclusive. So yeah, for next week. But anyway, we might as well get into this then. So we've had quite big week of wrestling, haven't we? Really, since after Christmas.
It was the strangest week in wrestling I think I've seen, because
Yeah.
on Monday, December 26th. Now we're going back a ways. We're not going to recap anything. Monday, December 26th, best of show.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Tuesday, December 27th, a taped NXT. Fine.
Yeah.
Okay. December 28th, a live AEW. Whatever.
Yeah.
Sure. And December 30th, John Cena's wrestling on TV. What? Huh?
Yeah.
Monday is the best of show. Friday is just like a massive show, and then there were more. So I made sure to watch that episode. I wasn't going to be back till last night's episode. I'm sorry, Monday night's episode. But once Cena got announced, I'm like, well, I know what I have to do.
Yeah. But yeah, and it turned out to be a pretty big night, didn't it, on the Friday night? But we'll get into that in a second anyway. So, well,
Yeah.
should we start this off then? So, as we were saying, yep, we had this match, which was going to be the main event. Obviously, we had Cena and KO against Roman and Sammy. We'll get to that in a minute because obviously that is the main event, but I thought I'd flag that one up. Do you want to start bringing up the Smackdown stuff, or whatever, or do I need to? I don't mind. Watched it.
I got it right here. Honestly, I thought they were gonna keep. I thought they were gonna start with Cena. I thought they were gonna have him do multiple things on the night, and apparently they did. It just wasn't aired, so that's kind of where the confusion lied. Not confusion, just my prediction going wrong, of course. So Bray Wyatt kicked off SmackDown with LA Knight, and we got to see up close and personal Uncle Howdy.
And there we go. I've managed to get a picture of it. There we go. Now, who do we think, looking at that
picture?
Yeah, who do we think is playing Uncle Howdy?
I don't think it's Bo. I don't think Bo has those blue eyes.
No. Well, everyone.
Wait, can you put the picture up again? Sorry.
Yeah, let me put it back up. Hang on. I should just.
See, those are piercing blue eyes.
Yeah.
I don't think Dallas has those.
I'm wondering though whether it's contacts. That's what I'm thinking. I'm wondering whether it's contacts.
Maybe. Yeah, I guess you could do that. I don't know. That just doesn't strike me as Bo.
No.
Because Bo doesn't have a. I mean, you could dye his beard. There's ways. I don't think that's Bo. I'm gonna put it out there. I'm just gonna say I don't think. Now, could Bo play him at another time? That's another story.
Possible. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another story. But that guy right there, I don't think is Bo, but I do think it's a wrestler because he hit the Sister Abigail pretty perfectly.
The thing going around is that Vincent from Impact, from that
Okay.
from that
Those
Death
two
Honor or
guys,
whatever,
yeah.
or whatever it was. It's one of them. Yeah, because the first guy in the first Howdy which we seen was different to that one. And the thing
Oh yeah,
going around is that was actually Vincent.
that was a stand-in for sure.
Yeah, that definitely was the standard. Yeah, that
Yeah,
first
because
one.
wasn't that guy rather short?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, short and a lot
Yeah,
more sort of a lot more built, sort of like Bray Wyatt sort of built. That first one was,
yeah.
whereas the
So
second one wasn't.
I figured they were two different guys completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was Uncle Howdy comes to the ring, and LA Knight doesn't know what to do,
Yeah.
and then Uncle Howdy just Sister Abigail's Bray Wyatt,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we had should we tell him what was announced for the Rumble or?
May as well.
Yeah,
Yep.
we might
Yep.
as
And
well,
that,
right?
yeah, that match. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, the match was made official. Now, if I'm botching this name, please correct me. It is a Mountain Dew Pitch Black match.
That's correct. Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so obviously sponsored by Sierra Mist. Just kidding. Obviously sponsored by Mountain Dew. Uh, um, yeah. Uh, as a guy that watched wrestling for the first time in over a month, I was like, wow, what a start. And then I did
Mm,
not expect Sister Abigail to. Uh,
to be hit on
I'm
Bray.
sorry, I did not expect Uncle Howdy to Sister Abigail Bray. That was a nice
Yeah.
little twist. And LA Knight has no idea what's going on. And LA
No.
Knight, like, not a big LA Knight guy, but smart when he has to be. He goes, "Yeah, I'm out of here." He's like, "Nope."
Yeah. Yep. He's
So
yeah. Well, I mean, it begs the question of, well, are they going to go still with what? Well, what obviously I've been told is that LA Knight's apparently meant to be beating Bray at the Rumble. Bit of a spoiler alert there, but apparently LA Knight's meant to be beating Bray at the Rumble with
I
the
don't
help of
think.
Howdy, because it's meant to be part of the storyline, basically. Because the whole this is a bit of a storyline. This is a bit of a spoiler here, so I will bring it out, and I will say spoiler warning now. So if anyone doesn't want to listen, turn out now for about 5 minutes. But what the latest thing was is that the whole Bray storyline, where obviously where he's battling his demons and stuff.
Mhm.
Basically, the whole storyline is meant to be is that Bray is just going to take loss after loss after loss leading into WrestleMania, and he's going to finally release the Fiend at WrestleMania because that's what they want. And it's the whole thing is Bray now is the weak Bray, and that's why he's just going to take loss after loss after loss, and the Fiend is going to be the strong one. And that's it's going to cause Bray to snap. That's what they're basically saying. So all the losses is going to cause Bray to snap to then bring out the Fiend, and that's what they're going to look to do. So yeah, the latest thing is that LA Knight is defeating Bray Wyatt at the Rumble, and the way they're going to justify it is by using Howdy, by having Howdy help LA Knight, or we could even see Uncle Harper, which has been heavily rumored to come out and help LA Knight as well, because we could have that one. So
Yeah, we got Bray's got an interesting family, and I mean, going back to he said spoiler warning. I mean,
yeah,
we don't know how that match is going to end. They could swerve us and have Bray win, so
yeah,
it's not really a spoiler. We don't know. We don't know until it happens. So
no, yeah. But no, I'm just saying that's what I was
yeah.
Yeah, spoiler warning.
Wild start to SmackDown, but yeah. So that is the third Royal Rumble match confirmed. Obviously, the two Rumbles and Roman versus KO is coming, or maybe Roman defends in the Rumble.
I think it's Roman
Maybe.
KO. I think Roman KO has been there's been a rumor.
Wait. Okay. This is quick sidebar. Seth Rollins. What do you know?
Injured.
I'm gonna get it out of him. How bad?
It's an ankle injury. It's not so bad, but he's going to miss the Rumble.
Oh,
Won't be
okay.
about.
You think
But
will he be back for Mania?
well, yeah, I think what they're doing is they're going to. Well, they're going to try and push him for the Rumble if they can do.
So just he's going to
If
rehab for the next 3 weeks or
if
whatever.
possible, yeah. But they're going to use this opportunity at the moment to do a persona change. You know, obviously at the moment he's sort of like kind of face and stuff like that. They're going to turn him heel, set up the Cody thing again.
Okay, so that tweet he sent out this morning or yesterday, that had nothing to do with him with what happened in 2015, right?
No.
Well, you know it's the same tweet, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay,
He's
so that's why people were like, did he blow out his knee again? So he didn't blow out his knee.
No, he didn't blow out his knee. No. I believe what it was a report that came down was it's an ankle injury.
Yeah.
And it's not as serious as what people think. It's kind of the X was thrown and everything, so the X was thrown up. And obviously the match
he threw it up, but after the match, yeah.
So
all right, sorry, I got it out of him though, folks. Yeah. Next we had Sheamus versus Solo Sikoa. This is a brutal match because Solo and Sheamus are just two brutal workers. But in the end, Solo gets the win. Solo sets up Sheamus for, I don't know what you would call it, but he put his chair around his throat and was going to run into it like he took out Riddle.
Yeah.
Don't know what you call that.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
No idea.
He's going to do that. But then the music hits, and out comes the returning Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
And I was so happy. Funny story. Another sidebar. I was in all places. Guess where I was when he returned?
Where was you?
I was in my refrigerator.
Wait.
Yep. I had the phone in my hand. Refrigerator was open. I was looking, and I hear the music, and I'm like, oh! And then my parents were in the living room. They were like, who's he talking to? And I came in. They were like, what's wrong? I'm like, McIntyre's back. They were like, oh, okay. And I was like, because I drafted him first round for my team, and I had McIntyre, Riddle, and Orton. So I was like, I'm in trouble. If one of them doesn't at least come back, I got one.
Yeah, he got back then at least, and that's a start then.
Yeah, so I was like right on time, buddy, because the season started that next Monday.
Yeah.
So I was like, right on time, buddy. So Drew McIntyre is back. He takes out. Forgive me if I don't know which one he took out. He hit a Claymore on. I know it wasn't Solo. Do you remember which Uso it was?
No, it was more than likely Jay.
Okay, so he took out one of the Usos with a Claymore, and he saved Sheamus, and he's back. I believe Friday night is McIntyre and Sheamus versus the Usos for the belts.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, the match that was delayed.
Yeah, so that was a solid segment, and that's when I was like, oh, they're treating this New Year's show like a big deal, because they never usually do.
Yeah. Pay-per-view style show.
Just phone it in and tape it. Yeah. I was like, cool. That's why I told my parents. I'm like, they're treating this like it's a big deal, and they're like, they should. I was like, yeah. All right. Wait. A testament. This one says a testament to his continued popularity with WWE fans. That's Drew McIntyre. Okay. And that ends the segment. Next, we have Raquel Rodriguez versus Ronda Rousey for the women's title. Now, without saying who it is yet.
Yeah.
I didn't know this was coming.
Oh, I did.
I did not know this was coming. I was like, why are they? I was like, shouldn't this be the Rumble match? Raquel versus Raquel versus Ronda. Too many R's in that match. Too many R's. Raquel Rodriguez. Yeah. So, cool ending. Ronda wouldn't let go of her arm as they left the top rope, and Raquel had to tap.
Yeah.
But then Ronda's about to talk, and then the music hits. The new music, I might add. And when that music hit, when that music hit, I said, Ric Flair. And then I'm like, why is Rick here? And then I see her on the stage, and I'm like, oh, Charlotte. I was like, wow, it's been like 7 months. Maybe probably closer to 8.
Yeah.
So Charlotte is back, and
Yep.
we had another impromptu title match. We had Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey, and Charlotte rolled up Ronda for the win. Now, there we go. I'm gonna go into a rant.
Yep. All right. Okay.
And I didn't tell him I was doing this. Okay. Ronda Rousey, go away. You clearly don't want to be there. Go away. Listen, I understand Ronda's not the best actress or the best talker, and that's not her fault. And I can deal with bad promos, and I can deal with not so good acting. I've seen her movies, trust me. It's not a shock. But you can tell she just doesn't care. And that's what irks me the most. Bad acting, not everybody's good. She has a problem. She has a speech impediment. So obviously she has issues talking. Again, not her fault. That's fine. I can get past those two. But the not caring. And you could see in her promo when she said SummerSlam, and I was just like, no, just go away. Please. Now that might be unpopular. I get Ronda Rousey's a huge name.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit weird when she said SummerSlam. I was like, what the fuck?
I was like, really? You can't even get the pay-per-view name right? Like I said, the bad promos, she's from UFC. She wasn't meant to talk. Fine. She's nervous. Fine. She's not a good actress. Again, I've seen her movies. I'm not shocked. Fine. But we are getting the same Ronda promos from 2018 and 2019, and I didn't mind them back then either. But she cared back then. I think she's just phoning it in. I think she's gone after Mania 39, personally.
Probably, yeah. I know that they're trying to. Yeah. But they're trying to get her to stay,
now.
But I don't think.
Yeah, I think she's done. Next we had Gunther's Path of Destruction. Now, as a man who was returning to wrestling for the first time in over a month, I didn't know what to expect per se. But I did see a botch on this one, and that was not good. But we'll get to that. So, Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci, they say he's been unstoppable for the last 6 months, and I didn't even realize he's been IC champ for 6 months. So, good for him. Then Braun Strowman comes out, and Braun says, yeah, no man has beaten you, but maybe a monster can. They fight. They take out Braun. Ricochet comes in for the save.
Yeah, that was random.
and Ricochet clears house with a chair, but unfortunately he does it a little too well, and he hit Gunther in the head with the chair. Did you see that?
Yeah, did you? Yeah.
So as he was swinging it over the ropes, it caught Gunther in the head and busted him open. Now, accidents happen, but it did happen, you know. So my theory... Austin theory. No, my theory here is Strowman beats Gunther, and then we get that. That's how they get the IC title off of him for Brock.
Yeah, more than likely. It's going to be Elimination Chamber, because there's that whole rumor going around as well about well, not rumor. It's something that we've obviously mentioned here at Xero. About the Elimination Chamber and it being defended in there, but
yeah, it's either Braun becoming champion or Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, it'd be one of the two. But yeah, I truly believe, this isn't me saying 100%, but I truly believe that by the end of Elimination Chamber, he will not be champion anymore, because they want to set it up for Mania.
Yeah, and then you can just have Brock appear on the next Smackdown next night. I'm sorry, not the next night.
The next Smackdown.
Now, are they taping that show? We're a ways away. I know, but do you know if they are?
They don't normally. The only ones they normally tape is Christmas, New
Saudi.
Year, Saudi. So
Well,
yeah.
because I know they're going to Canada, so I wasn't sure.
No, they're always live from Canada. They're always
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Okay.
they're always live and that from Canada. So
Yeah.
they're fine.
I wasn't sure if they would just make it easier on them, but okay. All right.
No.
So that was the end of that, and kind of it was weird. There's only 6 segments on this page. It almost seems uneventful, but so much happened in those 6. So next we have the main event. John Cena,
Yeah.
Super Cena himself. I got his shirt on.
But before we go into that, I was trying to get some
Wait.
images.
Oh wait, I think I know what you're doing.
Yeah, no, I was trying to get some images of John Cena, but I couldn't get any. So unfortunately, we've just got an image of a brick wall here.
Oh,
Yeah,
never
yeah.
mind. Wow. Okay, I
So,
thought you were going
yeah.
another direction.
No, yes. So yeah, so we've got an image of a brick wall here. I'm afraid there's no actual physical images of John Cena anywhere.
Yeah.
It's like he's invisible, So we've got nothing there. So
Yeah.
no.
Did you see on my IG I posted that and I used a similar caption? I'm like, why is there a picture of just a brick wall? I'm like, kidding.
Yeah,
I had to.
yeah. I know what thing you were going for. I believe the patch on the back of the head, the bald patch. Is that what you were going for?
Cena's lack of
Hair.
listen, Father Time is undefeated. Cena, Father Time is undefeated. It gets us all, but it did make us all feel old for sure.
Yeah. So,
But I mean, I don't. I think he should just cut his hair. I think he'd look good bald, but that's just me. Maybe Hollywood wants him to have it. I don't know. So it's Kevin Owens versus John Cena. Kevin Owens and John Cena versus Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn. Now, the streak is still alive for Cena. Now, how do I put this gingerly? He didn't do a lot in this match. He did the bare minimum, but
yeah,
still was there. Still
yeah.
wrestled the match.
But
Owens,
did you know? But did
what?
you know they also performed afterwards as well? They also had a dark match afterwards, which I didn't quite mind.
I'm not shocked. He did a bunch of dark matches when he was here in last summer or
But
2 summers ago.
they actually replayed it afterwards, but it was a 6-on-6. So they actually had it was Roman, Sammy, and one of the other
Solo?
it might have been Solo, and I do believe it was then so it was KO, Cena. I think McIntyre joined him as well.
I'm giving myself points then. I don't care.
I think he did. Don't hold me to that one, but I think he did.
Good enough. I'll just tell the guys.
And they've done a dark match afterwards. Apparently, he was in that one quite a lot, so they must have been saving him for the live crowd there. So it was obviously like,
or you know what they're probably doing if you think about it. The Hollywood execs can see the match he was in.
Yeah.
Dark match. They can speculate what he did, but they can't really confirm it.
They've probably told him not to take too many bumps and probably told him not to do too much because
because he was being really easy on the TV match, but Hollywood execs can't see. This is going to be a pun intended, kind of. They can't see what they can't confirm.
No,
what they can't see. Multiple meetings.
Well, it could be something on those lines, like what you said, because obviously Cena is filming throughout all of February and March anyway. So it probably is that to protect. Yeah.
So we had a double 5-knuckle shuffle to Roman. I'm sorry, was it to Roman and KO or Roman and Zayn, or was it just Zayn? Okay. Then Cena hits the attitude adjustment on Roman. Roman rolls out of the ring. Kevin Owens hits Sami Zayn with a stunner, and they bring home the victory to close out 2022. And Cena's streak continues of wrestling at least one match a year for 20 years. Awesome. So,
that was
You're embarrassing yourself in front of the crowd. Oh, Owens yelled your top moments. Owens said you're embarrassing yourself in front of the tribal chief to Sami. Cena hot tag was special. Of course it was. And that is it for the last SmackDown of 2022. Now, I'll say this. Xero will probably go more into this later, but we're gonna start recapping SmackDown weekly.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I don't know why we weren't doing it before. Quite frankly, I don't know how both of us didn't really think of that, but
Yeah.
we will be recapping SmackDown weekly now. Obviously, it's gonna be out later because this we record on
Wednesdays.
Wednesdays, and but it is what it is, you know. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we definitely, even if we had to recap this one for sure.
I will bring up some
All right.
stuff at the end anyway as well with another couple of changes as well. So yeah, so I'll bring that one up in that. So yeah.
Okay.
So
All right.
anyway,
You want to do Raw?
yes, that's SmackDown done then. So yeah, so as Bobby just said, so we're going into Raw then. So this week's Raw, obviously the first one
Yep.
of the
He's
new
taking
year.
this one.
So we open up Raw. It's the first one of 2023. Opens up with a typical video, as you do, the typical network, USA Network video. It's what you have. We go straight into the Usos and Sammy and Solo literally destroying everyone and everything
Yeah.
backstage. And then you then have Sammy literally looking into the camera when he gets on into the ring and says, "This is a message for everyone in the back. The Bloodline runs this show." So obviously, so they're doing a lot of crossovers with the Bloodline and everything. It's probably because USA Network have complained, I expect.
Yeah.
During that, Kevin Owens' music hits, comes out. Zayn cuts him off on the mic, warns him saying the Bloodline's in a bad mood tonight. It's a hostile takeover. Just literally a bit of back and forth there. Adam Pearce comes out, turns around and says they're not doing it. They're not actually doing that anymore. Tells the Bloodline to leave the ring peacefully. All the security comes out and Solo literally takes them out one by one, as you do. Zayn taunts Owens. Owens rushed into the ring. The Bloodline beat him up, get into a 4-on-1 situation. Out comes more security, and out comes most of the locker room. So you have like Shelton Benjamin, Gallows, Cedric Alexander, Elias, Profits, and stuff like that.
Elias.
The Bloodline obviously then go ahead and retreat then as they do. We have a few backstage segments then. After that, we've got a segment between Byron Saxton and Bianca Belair. She said she's basically no victim. She no longer wants to talk about Alexa Bliss after tonight and everything like that. We then go back into it and they then start hyping up, saying we've got Cody Rhodes recovery video package. Now, bit of a swerve off of the Raw Cap thing here. There was obviously some reports come down about Cody and Edge returning. I will just say before anyone else obviously comes up and says this one is it wasn't just us at Xero who was reporting this. There was
They broke
several
the news.
different.
Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him.
Yeah.
Blame
There
him.
was-
Tweet at him. Don't tweet at me.
Oh, everyone already has. You should see my DMs and you should see my comments. I've had to turn it off. I've had some most of my comments off on you. No, about the comment.
Oh.
No, about
I was like, show me them.
So as I was saying, he was meant to be coming back. We had that. There was a lot of confirmation that he was coming back, but then for some reason it just didn't happen, and something else. They obviously changed plans, so we don't know what happened there. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say on that bit.
If I'm gonna throw my opinion out there as a wrestling fan, it's probably for the better. Come on, save all the surprises you can for the Royal Rumble. Come on. We're in January. If this was October, okay, fine.
Yeah.
But come on. We're 4 weeks out.
Yeah. Well, Edge obviously needs to come back beforehand because he needs to set up that match with Finn Balor. So that's why everyone as well believed that Edge was going to be back. And the thing was, and this was the annoying thing, was I was told that Edge was backstage, but they just never used him. So it must have been because of the leak.
Do you think they just put both of them in the Rumble? And Edge eliminates Balor to set that up, or?
Well, no, because the match is actually meant to be at the Rumble. Edge versus Balor is actually meant to be Hell in a Cell at the Rumble.
Why did I think it was supposed to be at Mania? Okay.
Don't know. But no, it's
right. Never mind.
Yeah, because it's meant to be Edge versus Balor at the
a
Rumble.
pitch black match and a cell. Okay.
Yeah, and a cell match. Yeah. So yeah, and of course, and the 2 Rumble matches. So yeah, so obviously, so Edge will have to be back soon. I expect it. I don't know whether they're in Canada at any point before Rumble. I'm not sure.
I don't. I mean, I can check the schedule if you want.
No,
Um,
obviously, if they're in
yeah.
Canada, that's obviously where they come back. If they're not in Canada, then
Well, I
they'll
mean,
probably be next week or whatever. I
where
expect.
were they Monday?
It
Remember?
was when it Dallas they were in. Was it Dallas?
I mean, SmackDown was in Tampa. I know that.
Oh no, it was in Nashville. It was in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay. It does. Oh yeah, because Bianca. Okay. It doesn't seem like they're heading that direction. Now, I'm just gonna look it up. Whatever. Well, you keep going, and
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair
I'll
enough.
get this going. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, backstage then, before we actually get into any of the action of the night, you've got then most of the superstars who were getting destroyed by the Bloodline earlier on. You've got the likes of Kevin Owens, Montez Ford, Elias, and everyone like that. They all say they want a piece of the Bloodline tonight, and Pearson sets up several matches. So you've then got we get set up then Solo Socorro versus Elias in a Music City Street fight later on in that one, and you also then have Sami Zayn and the Usos versus Kevin Owens and the Street Profits is also made as well. We then go back. We then have the announcers thank the singer Hardy for his sold out single, not the Hardy in AEW.
Yeah, I heard the name, and I was
Yeah.
like, that got my attention right away. I was like,
Yeah.
Hardy, like what?
Yeah, no, it's not that Jeff Hardy. He's probably still in rehab at the moment, so he probably can't release any new music.
Yeah. Now, before you continue, I have the Raw locations. No Canada.
All right, okay.
We are in now, I believe, Birmingham, Alabama next Monday.
Yeah.
Cincinnati, Ohio, home of Alexa Bliss on the 16th. Philly on the 23rd, which is interesting because that's where Balor made Edge say, "I quit."
So it could be then, and he could literally come back.
Oh wait,
the week
that's Raw 25. Raw 25. Raw 30.
He could then come back on Raw 30 then and do it then, couldn't he?
I mean, because didn't Edge do that to Seth last time, or was that a couple weeks before Crown Jewel? Because I remember he just showed up and said "Hell in a Cell." I mean, you really don't need any build for that. So
no, yeah,
the story's there.
Well, I mean, yeah, because the Hell in a Cell matches, what it's meant to be anyway, is the Hell in a Cell matches are meant to be to finally end that feud. So literally, if you know it's a Hell in a Cell, you know that's the end of it. So that will literally be the last one.
So that means they won't have matches at Mania involving each other.
Probably not. No, because I was going to say because what Triple H is looking to do is if you have a Hell in a Cell match now, is to actually end the feud. So that's what it is now. So yeah, so Hell in a Cell matches are only going to be used to end in feuds now. So
give me Edge versus McIntyre at Mania. Come on.
You never know because it is Edge's last year in it, so we could.
Yeah.
I think,
unless I mean, it seems like we're getting Logan and Cena, which is monumental. But maybe Theory and Edge? That's not a bad one.
Might be, yeah. You never know. So yeah, it could be.
Edge gives Theory the rub. I mean, Edge has no problem. Edge is not CM Punk. Edge has no problem putting over these young.
No, we'll find out because it's whoever they eliminate in the Rumble is who they're getting at Mania, basically. So that's what it is.
It's between Logan. Well, because LA Knight's probably not in the Rumble, right?
No, he won't be in the Rumble. He'll be in that pitch black match. So
so it's either Logan or Theory at this point for Cena.
Yeah,
that's if Cena does the Royal Rumble, of course.
Yeah,
we're assuming he does.
Yeah. We digressed again massively.
Sorry.
That's fine. Right. So we actually then get into the first action of the night then, which is Alexa Bliss versus Bianca Belair. Pretty interesting match actually. You have Bliss in that. You have Bliss just being Bliss, basically. You have a pretty good, like I said, a pretty good match. It then gets interesting at the end where somebody pops up in a Uncle Howdy match, Uncle Howdy mask, not match.
Ooh, an Uncle Howdy match. You
Yeah.
just gave them an idea.
Yeah. Well, it probably will be. They probably will have one of them at some point. But yeah, so you have somebody pop up in the mask. The Bray Wyatt logo appears at the back, and then Bliss just turns. She just goes mental, throws Bianca into the steps, does everything like that. Bianca goes off bleeding. She ends in a no contest because of how how badly it is.
Now, did you see security trying to get that guy to sit down?
Yeah.
That was so funny because he's like, hey, back up, and you could see the guy turning the mask like, I'm a part of the show, go away.
Yeah.
And I'll give a shout out to one of my favorite wrestling podcasts, What's Wrong with Wrestling. This morning I listened to their recap and they were like, oh, a blonde man, Mr. Kennedy, how you doing? I was like, oh my goodness. Imagine if that's Mr. Kennedy under the mask.
It would not surprise me. You never know.
I'd be stunned. But they were like, oh, Mr. Kennedy. But yeah, security tried to get the guy to sit down, and you could see him turn, and he didn't show any of his face, so he did it good. And he's like, dude, I'm a part of the show.
It was.
So, hey, I've seen funny security moments. They tried to stop Gronk, and but yeah, continue.
We then just have a bit of a segment backstage with Seth and Austin Theory. They just talk about 2 weeks ago and stuff. Obviously, what happens. We go into the Music City Street fight after that, then, which is Elias versus Solo Sikoa. Just street fight with loads of musical instruments. It's not. It wasn't the best street fight that I've seen. It was a average street fight, let's just say.
If this show was anywhere else, it wouldn't be happening. And this was to do what they did later with a certain singer, but
so we then have Solo Sikoa wins that one. During the thing, as what you told me, I said, country music singer Hardy appeared at the barrier, jumped into the ring as well, and hit Solo during that match with the guitar. So they're probably going to do something else as well because he's meant to be at the Rumble, and he's
performing.
So they'll probably have something I expect to do with Solo and Hardy at the Rumble. I expect.
Fun fact about me: I listen to country music. I actually really like country music. I have no idea who this guy is.
Okay.
Not a clue. I heard it and I'm like, I don't know who this is.
Well, it's Hardy, but it's not Jeff Hardy. I'll just confirm that. There we go.
It's one of the Hardys, but not that one.
We then get a quick look back at how John Cena and Kevin Owens defeated Roman and Sami, which then takes us then into the Usos and Sami Zayn versus the Street Profits and Kevin Owens.
I do want to say something after you recap this match, but just go ahead.
Again, average match. It's just a normal, typical Bloodline match that you have now, basically, where it's just, sort of all the same moves and stuff like that. It is getting a little bit boring now, so Hunter does actually need to change shit up. Solo Sikoa appears at ringside during it and stuff, and surprise, surprise, you have Sami Zayn and the Usos win that one. After the match, Zayn's music hits as he stands tall with the Usos. Solo comes on in, grabs a steel chair again. And then, of course, you have Sheamus and Drew appear again as well to take them out. Drew's music starts back up. Everything.
Honestly, I thought Riddle was coming back here for a minute. I was like, are they going to do this? Mm-hmm. I would have been ecstatic. I'll get into what happened. So I'm sure everybody has heard, even it made it out to Xero in the UK, who does not watch football. About this time, a football player collapsed on the field, a very real event. It went into cardiac arrest on the field, in the beginning of the game. They had to give him CPR on the field just to get him back. And they had to take him to the hospital, and the game got scrapped. And I mean, obviously, Raw was going up against football anyway. But when they're going up against a real life event like this. Obviously, Raw kind of takes a back seat. So I'm not. I didn't miss Raw per se, but like I wasn't focused. Like I kept checking Twitter for this, and the kid's 24 too, so he's younger than me. And I kept checking Twitter to just see updates. I just wanted, So I watched Raw because I know the last month was probably painful for people, me not knowing what was going on. But I did watch Raw.
Yeah.
But obviously I was kind of secondary. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out there. But I did watch Raw. Good episode. But yeah, the kid seems to be okay. Damar Hamlin, and his charity has raised over $5.5 million.
Yeah.
Since Monday night. And Chris Jericho donated $10K. Did you hear about Chris Jericho donating by chance? Or
yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen something advertised. I've seen something on Twitter, but I don't know.
So it's a funny but nice gesture. He donated $5,000 to his charity.
Yeah,
but he ended up spelling his own name wrong. He spelled Chris wrong.
Okay.
Crus. Okay. He spelled it. That is not the American way to spell it. What?
How does that work?
How does that work? I have no idea. But Jericho to Jericho's credit, Jericho said, okay. And he donated another $5,000 and spelled his name right. So very nice gesture, very funny gesture. Now I don't know. I can't imagine he did that on purpose because it's like, why not just donate $10K? But I guess he just wanted to, Jericho's a nice guy. So, I mean, but yeah, that's why Raw kind of took a back seat for me, but I did watch it. It's in entirety.
Well, he may be a nice guy, but he's blocked me on Twitter, so I don't really,
Does he? Wait, I didn't know this.
Yeah, he's got me blocked on Twitter. To be fair, 90% of the AEW roster has me blocked on Twitter.
Yeah. To be fair, did you deserve it?
Well, I was leaking their results for like 2 weeks straight.
Okay. So yeah. So let's just say Xero wasn't exactly innocent in this ordeal.
No, but still, but
all right.
Even Tony,
that's funny. But
even Tony Khan has me blocked. But,
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Look at my camera. Look at my camera. Are you looking at my camera?
Yeah,
this is my very sarcastic, shocked face. I'm stunned. Not really. No, I know why he's blocked.
Yeah. So
anyway, continue with Raw.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we have the announcers basically come on and they send best wishes to AJ Styles, who obviously got injured on Thursday at a live event. It's an ankle injury. He's going to be ankle. Yeah, he's going to miss the Rumble and he's probably going to miss Mania because I think it's 6 months. They're saying.
No. It's like 6 weeks. No. It's not 6 months. Unless he shattered his ankle completely.
I don't know. I've read that wrong then. But yeah, he's definitely missing the Rumble.
Broken ankles are usually 6 to 8 weeks. He's definitely missing the Rumble. But unless he shattered his ankle completely or did something else, he should not miss Mania. Unless it's more than a broken ankle.
Yeah, that's probably me reading it. That's probably me reading it wrong. I was literally just zooming through that one on that day because that was a busy day for us.
Yeah. If it's 6 months, we got a problem. It's not just a broken ankle. Then.
No. Yeah. We then go back to the ring. In ring action, we've got Chad Gable versus Dexter Lumis. Random match. Don't know why we've got Gable versus Lumis for. It was just really strange one. Lumis wins, obviously, the match. Make no surprise there, really. Otis comes on to try and do that. You then got Gable tries to get Lumis after the match. Then for that. Then we go into a video package of Cody about his return and stuff. We won't bother going into that one. Now, quite interestingly, backstage, I don't know whether you've seen this because, of course, you two said that you weren't seeing too much of it, and obviously you were watching the football as well. We then have a segment with Damage Control backstage, where they're laughing and everything like that. Now, in the background, if you look carefully at the image which I got up, and that, yeah, so
I didn't
you
see
can
this
see.
till after the fact.
Yeah, yes. You've got MVP with the other members of the Hurt Business. Now, it has been rumored that they are reforming, and they're going to come. They're going to come back now.
I would love that.
Yeah. Now there is some rumors as well going around. Do they want Omos to join it as well? Now that would obviously make sense for the whole MVP thing and Lashley thing. They might obviously like put their differences aside and join up for it.
Yeah,
And have Omos as part of it as well.
I mean, the 8-man tags would be really. Yeah, you just do 8-man tags.
Yeah, they'll be able to. Well, obviously,
or even 10-man if you want to put MVP in there.
Well, they're looking to do that because they obviously want new opponents for the Bloodline. Because of course they're going to keep redoing the Bloodline thing and stuff, and they obviously need new opponents for the Bloodline and that coming up. So bring back the Hurt Business, whack Omos in there, 4-on-4, problem solved. For when Roman's not showing up to work again. So,
or if you can get Roman 5-on-5, just throw MVP in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah, throw that in there.
I did see that after the fact. I didn't catch that live.
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, yeah, so we've got that one. We go back from break, and Damage Control are in the ring. They see how Bayley defeated Becky Lynch 2 weeks ago. Bayley wishes Trashville a happy new year, as she called it, Trashville. Becky comes out. We've got that one. Comes out to that one. Yeah, no surprise there. It's just a normal thing. They turn around and say about how Becky wants. And then basically sets up a match where Becky turns around and says that she will face Dakota Kai and Io Sky in a 12-1 handicap match. We come back from break and we're into that match. It's just keeps going on as it is until midway through the match. You have Mia Yim come out and actually helps Becky and joins up to be her tag team partner. So it then turns into a typical tag team match. Again, no surprises there from it. The thing that did surprise me though was obviously Damage Control got the win there against Becky and Mia Yim. I would have thought they would have given Becky that one. But
somebody had to take the pin for Becky's team.
Yeah, they had to. Yeah,
somebody had to take the pin for Becky's team.
Yeah. So that's obviously that one. After the match, we had Lynch rushes to attack, but Damage Control quickly retreats. Music hits, and they go back to replays for that one. You've then got Kathy Kelly backstage with Seth Rollins. Basically, you just have a little bit, just a quick segment there where they're talking about the upcoming match from it. We've then got for some reason we come back and we've got singer Jimmy Allen shown at ringside. He provided the theme song to tribute to the troops last month. So he obviously provided the theme tune to tribute to troops last month.
I do know who that guy is.
Yeah.
By the way, shout out to Kathy Kelly. Shout out to I don't remember when this was, but I just saw it on Twitter the other day when Kevin Owens and Elias were in a backstage interview. Kathy Kelly was the best part of it because Owens is like leaning in and Kelly's like egging it on, like, yeah. Why'd you do it? Why'd you do it, man? And she's just like looking at him and she's going back and forth. And I'm like, Kathy Kelly, you're doing great.
Yeah, since she's come back, she's been really good. Yeah, since she's come back, she's been really good actually. Yeah, she's probably one of the better reporters since she's been back. Yes, we got that. We then have a recap between Alexa and Bianca. Byron Saxon's backstage waiting to have a word with Bliss. She literally just says no, and basically just walks off. She says that the title belongs with her and walks off basically. We've got the announcers then basically show us then what happened when Dominic and Rhea Ripley crashed Mysterio's family Christmas, where Dominic got arrested. We get a weird segment as well where Dominic's apparently in jail. And he's always saying how prison's changed him and stuff.
That's an interesting one. But a funny one.
And then Dominic, and then Dominic tells Rhea Ripley that he will see her soon and start speaking Spanish to her to end the segment. And then we now have Corey Graves turning around and saying a weird bit at the end, saying that Dominic now has street cred. When has Dominic ever had street cred?
It's true. He's been in prison. He's got more street cred than most of the Usos still have more, but I won't get into that.
Did you see as well the teardrop tattoo that they gave him?
Yeah.
They put a fake teardrop tattoo on him as well. That was hilarious.
You know what that means, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We won't say what it means, but as long as both of us are on the same page.
Yeah. What the hell?
It's hilarious the route they're taking with Dominic, and quite frankly, I'm for it. If you want to make him a comedic guy, sure.
Yeah, it's pretty good actually. Then we go into I will apologise for that. I just coughed then. We then go into the main event then of the evening, then, which is Rollins versus Austin Theory. Pretty good match actually. It was,
yes.
to be fair, a really good match. It's normal Seth Rollins and Austin Theory match. Yeah, you get it. Rollins goes in for pedigree throughout the match, though Theory does actually get the win from it. So, Theory gets the win, and we just end Raw then with Theory standing tall as the music hits, and Theory clutching his title as Seth Rollins looks up at him, and then Raw goes off air. So that's Raw done.
Solid episode. First episode of 2023.
Yeah. So first solid start of the week, and then so that was Raw, and then we then do NXT. Now I will admit I missed all of NXT.
Unbelievable.
I know. Luckily, Bobby watched it all, so this one's over to Bobby again now and then to recap NXT.
Fun fact: I freaked him out a little off screen. I'm like, "You watched NXT, right?" And he was like, "No." I'm like, oh. I was like, well, this is awkward. I'm like, I'm just kidding. I got it all. We started off with... So, again, I just returned, and I didn't really look at the card, per se. And the first match was Apollo Crews versus Carmelo Hayes. Now, I think that's a sign for Carmelo Hayes that he's going to be a big player in NXT come 2023, because they're letting him kick it off.
Yeah.
Good match. Obviously, Apollo and Carmelo are great athletes. Carmelo, when he calls it, little missed time on the finisher because Carmelo completely missed him. Obviously, I saw it. You really have to pay attention to see it. But Melo wins. When Melo shoots, he don't miss. Booker T described him as a main event anywhere in the world. Agreed. They gave Apollo a little something. Trick Williams distracted him. The A champion planted Cruz with a power bomb. Cruz answered with a pump. Okay. All right. Yeah. So he hit the leg drop for the win. Next up, we had Axiom versus Trick Williams, which kind of came out of left field, but Axiom defeated Trick by pinfall. This is just so Axiom can stay in the winning column because he did lose to Carmelo Hayes a few weeks ago. I believe that was the Christmas show. I think. I'm not sure. I do know he lost, though. So then we had Dijak versus Channing Stacks Lorenzo. Dijak wins. Nothing notable on that match.
Dijak is doing better though in NXT than what he was. Dijak, though, I will say he is doing a lot better in NXT than what he is doing in than what he done on main roster and that. So
miles better. Fun fact: I wanted Carmelo Hayes in my league, and I had him in my head. I'm like, I'm gonna get him 2 picks before I was up. He went. I'm like, no. I was mad, but that's okay. I did want Hayes. I feel like he's gonna have a big year. But next week we do have Dijak versus Tony D'Angelo at New Year's Evil. Now I'm still not sure why they did it a week late, but whatever. Now this, go ahead.
I will just cut in. I have been told I won't say too much, but I have been told next week's show will definitely be a non-miss. Oh, not to be missed. Sorry. You know where like Raw and sort of SmackDown had their big shows this week just gone. Next Tuesday's NXT is meant to be pay-per-view quality one. We are expecting quite. I've been told it's a NXT reboot. We're going to see a lot starting from next week. Is going to be the NXT reboot. We're going to see a lot of potentially next week and after next week. We're going to see a lot of title changes. We're going to see a lot of new stars coming on in. We're going to see a lot of, a hell of a lot of new stuff. We're going to be also seeing a lot more main roster coming over, and it's going to be bigger names than what we've got now. So it's going to be bigger names than say like Apollo Crews and stuff like that. We are expecting big things to come to NXT, and it's all starting next week. They're really pushing it. So NXT next week will be a can't miss show. I'm not even going to miss it next week, even though I missed this week's one. I'm definitely going to watch next week's. I haven't got too much info on it. If anyone wants to ask
me,
on
the spot right now.
Yep.
I'm going to put you on the spot right now. Does
Waller
be a breaker?
I don't know.
You do? You think it?
I don't know. Well, I don't know.
No,
I think it.
Just your personal opinion.
Oh, okay. Maybe, because it depends. Because obviously, if you think about it, they're going to want a lot of people for the Rumble. Now, if they're going to say have Braun in the Rumble, they're probably going to want that belt off of him before he comes into the Rumble, because then he can then come straight up then after the Rumble, can't he? If anything, so. But
then
potentially
we're missing the Hayes Breaker feud. That's like, I feel like that's the stand and deliver match. Right there.
Unless then Waller's then not going to win then and do it that way. Yeah, I completely forgot about that one actually at Mania, Mania weekend. So no, probably then I'll change my thing now then. So Waller's probably not.
I don't think Waller wins either. I don't.
No.
If Waller was in Hayes' spot and it was Braun versus Hayes next week, and then Waller at stand and deliver, Waller would beat him. But I don't think so. Now,
So, you carry on.
Okay, back to NXT. Now this segment was pure chaos, and in a funny way. Me and my father were watching, and even we were like, "What is going on?" So we start with Toxic Attraction in the ring, the new Toxic Attraction,
Yeah.
They're talking. They're saying that 2023 is going to be their year. Yada yada yada. Then now, okay. It says the order here. I'm not sure if this is the order, but I'll just go with what this says. They are interrupted by Indy Hartwell, who is interrupted by Cora Jade in the crowd, who is interrupted by Nikita Lyons in the crowd, who's interrupted by our pal Wendy Chu in the crowd, who's interrupted by Zoe Starks in the crowd. Now, pandemonium, because you just hear voices from all over saying, whoa, 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 or well, or let's stop right there. And you're like, ooh, where is this coming from? And you're like, who is this? And then you see it, and you're like, they're all coming from the crowd, and they're in different corners. And then you're like, huh. And then Thea Hale from Chase U just comes out and goes, girl, fight! And then it just breaks out. And it's like, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, what is going on? And then it gets. Now you know nothing. You know results, or
no, I haven't seen any of it. I've seen nothing at all. So
So if there's 7 of them or so brawling in the ring, the rest of the roster comes out. I'm not kidding.
Okay.
The rest of the women come out, and they hit the ring. And they're brawling, and I'm like, what is going on? And then Alba Fire, I'm not sure if her music hit. I can't remember. But she comes out and is attacked by Isla Dawn on the ramp. And I'm like, okay. So everybody's brawling in the ring. Next thing you know, Alba and Isla are in the parking lot brawling, and I'm like, how did they even get out there?
Yeah,
they were just in the ring like a minute ago, and I'm like, what is going on? And then the refs try and break it up. That doesn't go well, of course. I gotta hit my buddy up. I know an NXT ref, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I gotta hit my buddy up and tell him he's not doing his job right, man.
no, yeah.
Just pandemonium. And I'm like, this is just pure chaos. And then Roxanne comes out and says, oh, there's going to be a 20-woman battle royal next week on New Year's Evil, and the winner gets the title shot against me. Now, the site I'm using to recap this, it says Bleacher Report. It
Yeah.
said they graded it an F. I disagree. Well, I mean, it was pandemonium, but it was funny because, like, you just hear all these voices and you're like, "Who? What is going on?" And then again, he mentioned notable moments. Dawn and Fire led into the parking lot, and I'm like, "What is going on?" Because I'm like, I unless they didn't show it, I'm like, "How did they get to the parking lot?" And then but that leads into an extreme resolution match: Alba Fire versus Isla Dawn. Fire wins by pinfall. Alba put her through a table. Now, Dawn has already lost on the main roster. Huh? I don't know what they're saying here. I believe that's 1-1 in the series with her and Fire, with Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. So, Fire hit the Gory Bomb. Okay. Dawn tried to break the fingers of Fire with a wrench and a hammer. I'm pretty sure that's illegal in real life, but hey, you know. Next we have Oro Mensah versus Javier Bernal, but the Alba Fire did indeed win. I'm not sure if I said that. Javier Bernal, he's got comedic timing. I do say. Because he was plugging his Christmas album backstage.
Okay,
And
that's random.
it was called Feliz Javidad.
Okay, that's
And I
pretty
just
good. That's pretty
laughed.
good.
Because I'm like, okay, that's good. And they were like, dude, because it was Oro and I'm blanking on the backstage interviewer for NXT, what her name is.
Oh, I know which one you mean.
The
She's
blonde. Yeah.
oh god, hang on. It's the one who's going out. She's in a relationship with Vic Joseph. What's her
Yes.
name?
Or they're married or engaged. Yeah,
Yeah,
something like
married
that.
now. I can't remember. I can't remember what her name is. No, it's gone. It's completely gone. No, I'll get back to you on that. Hang on.
Okay. Well, her and sorry, I had to pick something up. Her and Oro Mansa were like Christmas album. Christmas was like 2 weeks ago. What are you doing? And Javier Barnell goes, anybody can release a Christmas album
It's
during
it's
Christmas time.
it's Mackenzie Mitchell, by the way.
Yes. Oh my goodness. And yes, okay, Mackenzie Mitchell. And they were like, what are you doing? And he's like, anybody can release a Christmas album during Christmas time. It takes a special man to release it in the new year. And I'm like, that's just so stupid, but so hilarious. But good. Good, good, good. Mansa defeated Javier by pinfall. Not much to this match. Oro Mansa, they clearly have plans for him. Yeah. Next, we had Drew Gulak with Hank Walker versus Andre Chase with Chase U. Now, Gulak defeated Chase by submission, unfortunately. We have a whole thing with Charlie Dempsey, William Regal's son, and Gulak, and yeah, seems Gulak's going to be a heel. Then they plugged Indishare versus the Creeds. I believe that's for next week. I believe.
Probably is. I expect. I think it is.
Did you just miss? Oh my god. Okay. I'm not gonna read what I just read from our buddy.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Yeah, I just read it because I was like, why are we talking about? Okay, never mind. Next match of the night, Kofi Kingston wins with a Trouble in Paradise. I still love that finisher move. It's a cool move. He showed that he could do it. Now I have Pretty Deadly is in a gauntlet, and if they win, they get a rematch. Now, I'm pretty sure they're going to win. They have not announced the opponents or anything. But I assume they win that next week.
More than likely, I don't know.
But yeah, now we ended with yeah. Pretty Deadly confronted New Day in the locker room and demanded a title shot, willing to go through a gauntlet to earn another opportunity. I believe that's coming. Now to end the show, we had Braun Breaker versus Braun Breaker versus Grayson Waller. Braun Breaker on the Grayson Waller effect. Now Grayson Waller, I love him. Great. They're going back and forth, talking. Eventually, Braun just snaps and attacks Waller and hits his finisher on him. And actually, I'm sorry, that was not the last move of the night. Braun went airborne and over the top rope and took out Waller. Now, a man of Braun Breaker's size, that's very impressive. Very impressive. So, and that's NXT. Yeah, go away, Con.
No, he's spamming us at the moment. He's spamming us at the moment.
Why?
So, don't know.
Yeah, what a guy. What a guy. And that's the end of NXT, first of the year. Very eventful. Very eventful show. I believe Braun Breaker will be defeating Carmelo Hayes. Braun Breaker will be defeating Grayson Waller next week. Yeah. So we'll do a little AEW preview, and then we'll.
Whilst you do that a minute, if I